Get out of the kitchen right now.
Hello YouTube, today we are doing part 2 of 14 questions that chefs hate. This is a BuzzFeed article. We're going to go over it. We already went over through 1 through 7. We're going to finish it off 8 to 14. Let's get to it. Number 8 is, will you cook for me sometime? Yeah, I mean, here it has a little thing, no problem. I will send you my personal chef rate. Yeah, that's one thing. I don't mind cooking for people, but at the same time, I don't really get this question as much anymore. You know, I guess I've been married a long time, so nobody's gonna ask me that, and I'm not gonna go anywhere without my family. So most of the time, if I'm cooking, it's for family, so it doesn't really matter. I don't mind cooking for family whatsoever, and I don't mind giving advice. I don't mind doing all that stuff. I hear it a lot. Yes, it don't bother me. That's the least of my. That's not even a problem anymore. It's good. It's not a big deal. So this question doesn't necessarily do that for me. I'm pretty sure if you're a young chef that's single and maybe have some lady friends, maybe that question you might hear a lot. But that's something that I'm way past that. Sorry. So sorry to say, that's not gonna be a question I'm gonna be hearing too much. So question number 9 is, what's the best way to cook? Insert random food item here. I was actually surprised I didn't hear this question earlier, because this is probably one of the questions that every chef gets asked, or at least I've been asked this many times. And again, it's the best way to cook it. It depends on how you want to cook it. How do you like your food to be cooked? Because the best way to cook something is how you like it. So, I mean, I could be an asshole and be like, well, how I like it. So, you know, same thing. How is this is one of my best answers for my cooks when they ask me, so when do I take this out of the oven? And it's like, when it's ready. When is it ready? When it's ready. That's when it's ready. Again, I know it's one of those questions that my cooks always hate me when I ask, but it's the truth. It's just sometimes you just gotta be that straightforward. This question is really not fair, and I hate this question. And people that have asked me that, I don't hate you, I just hate the question. I get it. It's one of those things, and you got to get into it. You got to basically, how is it that you like your food cooked? So if you want it broiled or grilled or anything, you can cook it that way. And there is some dishes that, well, not even dishes, there is some items that you necessarily are better cooked a certain way, but for the most part, an item many different ways. The best way to cook it is what's better for you. Like, what do you prefer? You know, so that is a trick question in a sense. And again, and I did not look ahead. I did not look ahead for these 8 to 14. There are literally hundreds of ways to cook, and no single response can properly answer the question. Give us some more details, and this is literally what I said. This is crazy. This is basically what I just said. So I guess they are right in something. All right. So that is basically what I said. All right, I'll take that. I'm not even going to say much more. Number 10. This isn't very fancy. You probably won't like it. Okay, what it says there, chefs love to eat. And that is very true. And everybody knows me. I'll try almost anything. At least once. And I love to eat. That's literally the reason why I got into the business. I don't know, I had like a special, I don't want to say special, but I had a special thing for food. Like when young kids were waking up in the morning for Saturday early morning cartoons, I would wake up to watch the show that they were giving recipes out. Like, I just loved to eat. And I was lucky. I never got big or anything. I always was active. But I love to eat. I love food. I love trying new things. And that was literally what got me into the business. And this isn't very fancy. You probably won't like it. That's just not a right response for any chef. I eat anything. I really do. Fancy, don't get me wrong. I love going to a nice fancy restaurant going to a chef that is offering like that style food. But I also love just going to a takeout place that's offering good food, or street food that is good food. Food is good in all different types of facets. It doesn't have to be fancy to be good. That's one thing. So just sometimes some of the fancy food is not really good. It looks pretty, but it's not as good as you think it is. So that's one thing. Question number 11. How do you stay skinny? Or how do you stay so skinny? That is, and they show a picture of someone running. That is technically very true, and there's also the whole stereotype that chefs are not skinny. So this question is a little funny because in the stereotype they show usually a chef not being skinny, but this is very true. Most chefs should be skinny if they work as hard as, at least I do, but most chefs are, you probably walk miles throughout your day as a chef in the kitchen, and you're standing up all day and you're just moving. You're not giving yourself rest. When I'm done off my day and I sit down, it's just this weird feeling of just like everything just roof. It's just basically just it's almost like a knockdown. I can't get up. When I sit down in my car and I gotta get up, it's like whew, it's hard. You literally stand up all day and you're moving all day, so you are basically, I guess, you're burning calories all day. Even though you're taking calories in there, you're tasting this and that, you're burning a lot of calories. So that's one way. Do you want to open your own restaurant? Okay. Well, this is a good question because I did, and I think most people do that have, and some people that actually worked through it and been through it really bad. I did, and I still did want to open a restaurant, but let's see what they say. Let's get this straight. Not every chef wants to open up a restaurant. That's like asking every teller if they want to open up your own bank, which, yeah, I agree. Not every chef wants to open up the restaurant. I work with many people that opened up their own restaurant, which is not an idea. They knew it was too much work. They were just happy being able to do this there, and that was it. Like having a stable chef job and not taking the risk of opening up a restaurant was just too much. And I get it, but I'm a risk taker, so that's where I guess I fucked up, huh? And in that note, I also remember I had one of my customers that owned restaurants. He went to my restaurant, had a great meal. We came a couple times, and one of the times he was just like, you never wish anything bad on someone. You just wish them they had their own restaurant. And I didn't get it for a second, but the whole thing is like, and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, the worst thing you can wish on someone is for them to have their own restaurant. And the whole thing was, it sucks to have a restaurant in the sense the restaurant business is so crazy that it'll drive you crazy in a sense of you wishing somebody bad. If you wish someone bad, the best way to wish someone bad is to wish them a restaurant. That's what he was trying to say. I thought it was funny, but yeah. Number 14, the last question. What is insert obscure food item here? Okay, I'm not 100% sure what this question is. Literally no idea. There is an endless amount of food in this planet, and although we fairly knowledgeable, we're not familiar with these insanely obscure foods you keep asking us about. Inibashi, no idea. Okay, that is true. I do get questions about some food items that I might not heard of, and it almost makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Nowadays, people have the internet. Things pop up on YouTube. Things just pop up on the internet. You might be searching. There's so much stuff. Like I've always said, I got into this business. I still have a lot to learn. There's still a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff I haven't cooked. I mean, as a chef, you want to cook as many things. There's a lot of stuff I have not cooked. There's stuff that just not familiar over here that we just don't get the opportunity to cook. So don't expect a chef to know everything. And I think I'm pretty knowledgeable as far as like different cuisines. I am pretty knowledgeable, but there is so much stuff out there to cook. There's so many stuff that I probably never ever that I will probably never get the opportunity to cook. So, you know, again, this is one of those questions that it doesn't bother me, but don't expect chefs to have cooked every single thing, or is that supposed to be a requirement for chefs to have cooked every single thing in this planet? There's just so many things that not only that we don't eat, that just you'll never try it, you probably never see it, you probably never be able to get your hands on it. So that's that with that question, and that's where I'll leave it. That's number 14, and I'm done with this one. All right, thank you guys. Peace.
Get out of the kitchen right now.